In this video, I'm going to show you how to draw cakes and pie inspired by Wayne Thiebaud. You will need a pencil, eraser, and crayons for this project. Oil pastels would be best for this, but not everybody has those. If you have colored pencils, those can work too. First, I'm going to start with a light sketch in pencil. I'm starting with 4 little dashes, and I'm going to sketch a plate shape. So it's going to be this long oval shape, and I'm lightly connecting these 4 dashes. Always sketch lightly so that you can erase any sort of mistakes. It doesn't have to be perfect. Remember that we're mainly focused on the objects that will be on top of these plates. Next, I'll be sketching the 3-dimensional slices of cake and pie. So to create a 3-dimensional slice, we want to create more of a triangular shape. So notice how I started my triangle just above the plate shape. It looks like it's floating. Then we're going to draw 2 vertical lines. I've curved them a little bit, straight downward through the plate, and then I'm erasing that back line so that it looks like it's resting on top of this plate. You can change the shape of the top of your slice. I've left the points of the triangle there, as you can see, but I wanted to add some fluffy looking frosting designs for this slice of cake. So I'm adding little curved scalloped lines. Wayne Thiebaud sometimes added a cherry on top of his cakes, so that's what I'm adding here. If you'd like to add other details, you can sketch these in. I'm also making this a double layer cake, so it looks like there's going to be like a ribbon of color in between. This next little sketch is going to be a slice of cherry pie. I don't want it to be quite as tall as my piece of cake, so I'm adding the triangle, starting the triangle a lot closer to the plate itself. Still erasing that back line to make it look like the pie's resting on top of this plate. It's the same general shape, but I'm also adding a nice sort of scalloped crust on the top of my triangle. This last sketch is just going to be a simple piece of chocolate cake with a dollop of whipped cream on top. Now we're ready for color. It's always a good habit to think about colors in 3 layers. So I'm starting with my base layer, which is yellow. I want this piece of cake to be more of a yellow vanilla cake, so I'm coloring it very lightly. The second color you choose should add a little bit of vibrancy. And then lastly, the third color is going to create shadows. So I always like to think about layering my colors in 3s. My second color is orange. Now for this chocolate cake, I will actually layer together 4 colors because I want it to be quite dark, but also rich at the same time. When you start to add your shadow color, don't be afraid to press down and build up that color density. Now for this cherry pie, I'm avoiding the filling area for now because I want to fill that in with red eventually. Now we can start to have some fun with our colors. You can add colors to your details, you can add sprinkles, stripes of color for decoration, the filling of your pie, you name it. I usually avoid using the color black altogether, but it can be useful to help bring out some minor details and more dimension. So I like to use it sparingly. Based on my experience with this color, it tends to flatten things out or make areas look dull in your color. So I'm actually just using a little bit of this black to add in little circular forms to look like cherries in the center of my pie filling. And as you can see, they're only very lightly shaded. Next, we'll add cast shadows to really make these look like three-dimensional forms. I'm even going so far as to adding little cast shadows to the whipped cream and the cherry on top of my cake, because it is standing upright, and if there were a light shining down on these, they would cast a very small shadow. For the shadows behind my cake and pie, I'm just lightly sketching in this stretched sort of egg shape, kind of a half egg shape. I think that blue is a very fun color to use for a cast shadow. You'll see me layer together violet as well. Again, Wayne Thiebaud liked to use vibrant colors for his cast shadows. You may choose any color that you'd like. Maybe try using a color that you haven't picked yet. Right here, you'll notice that I'm retracing the plate that is covered by the cast shadow, just to help bring it back out a little bit so it doesn't disappear entirely. To help wrap up the rest of my plate and finish it, I'm just retracing with another new color. I'm using green. Kind of adds a little pop of something extra. To fill in that white space for my background, I've peeled off about half of the wrapper of a crayon, so I'm rubbing the side of the crayon to create some fun texture and fill in that space very quickly. So I'm going to start by layering yellow, and then I'll also layer violet together. And we are done. These are cakes and pie inspired by the artist Wayne Thiebaud. This was a Hammer Time production. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.